And what's going on, everyone? It's Keith once again, and yes, this is Metro Exodus once again, and I know we've already taken a few looks at this game. I do apologize if I start getting shot at in here, because for some reason every time I try to record, it seems like I get attacked, and it's getting kind of old. But the idea here is what we're going to do is look at the update for DLSS and the improvements that it's made. So right now we're running the game at 4K on the RTX 2080 Ti Founders Edition, and we're going to go down to video settings and show you it's a 4K Ultra preset, and for some reason the overlay will not go away when I hit the hotkey for it, so it's kind of stuck here, but it will be useful for seeing performance metrics while we're making these changes. So you see quality's at Ultra, VSync is off, motion blur is high, we're just leaving that alone, DirectX 12, NVIDIA RTX is on, so ray tracing is not set to high, DLSS is off for right now, but Hairworks and Advanced Physics is on, Tessellation is off for some reason. Let's turn that back on. So now with that applied, we need to see kind of where things are performing from this point. So right here, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna leave the scene static so that maybe, good lord, go away. Let me get rid of this guy real quick. Alright, so let's try this again. So what we're going to do is leave the scene static, and I picked this scene right here because of all of the trees, and it should show a pretty, obvious difference. So the idea here is the update, it was to improve DLSS. Now if you saw our previous video, you guys saw it, and you mentioned it in the comments that it was softer, there was a performance or a visual difference, and I didn't catch it because, well, I'm leaned back, it's a 28 inch monitor, and it wasn't as apparent to me. But I think we can all agree that this scene is much better than what we were seeing. You can see our frame rates jumped up quite a bit. So we're going to leave it turned on. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to move to a different scene, and we'll take a look at that one. Alright, so here we are at a scene with other characters on the screens. Now, I think we can all agree the character models leave a little bit to be desired, but the idea here is you can see the texture on the wood on the tree, or the tree limb, whatever that's used to make the canopy, and you can see the other character models, and this should be a good representation in this scenario with other people how DLSS affects it, and as well as the performance. You can see the performance right now is pretty low. This is one of the more demanding parts. This is the part in my benchmark run for the article that we did showed a lot of trouble, and this is where most of the minimums came from. So let's go ahead and enable it here, and you can take a look at it here and see kind of how the difference it makes in this particular scene. It does jump the frame rate up quite a bit. And so now something to take in mind, if you want to see more like still images, the link in the description is going to go to the article where we take a look at it and have multiple images and whatever. So this is basically an in-game giving you guys an idea of what to expect from the update. So I'm going to turn it back off and move to a different scene, and we'll check that one out, and I think we'll wrap it up on that scene. Alright, so this was one of the scenes where I actually took a screenshot. Maybe I can throw that up on the screen real quick just to give you an idea. This was one of the scenes where we saw a huge visual impact with DLSS on, and a lot of it was to do with the blades of the grass, the reeds, whatever, and how blurry they got, as well as the tower on the right hand side of the screen. So here it is with DLSS off. Now let's go in here and turn it on and see what kind of a difference it makes, and if it's very noticeable here in a negative manner. So here we are again, same scene. All I did was enable DLSS, and well, I guess you guys can make up your mind for yourselves seeing it here, but from where I stand, this is quite a visual, well, I want to say visual improvement over the original. I'm not trying to argue that it's better than a native 4K unaliased image. I mean, well, without using any type of anti-aliasing, but this is, I mean, at this point it's a much improved image. The performance is good, and I think it just shows there's some teething problems here. So I mean, it's machine learning. It's just going to keep getting better.
His hand is still giving him
Or so they say, and that this is proof. I mean, we saw the RTX, the ray trace reflections performance increase drastically in Battlefield 5, and we see DLSS increase visual fidelity over its original implementation here. And it just seems like some of this stuff is just going to take a little bit of time. Would I like for it to work perfectly on the first punch? Yeah, I really would. But I mean, people who have these RTX cards are looking for these, the RTX functions, and DLSS is one of them. And it's good to see that there has been improvement, and hopefully things will just continue to get better from here. So I hope you guys found the video entertaining, or at least a bit informative. So this has been Keith with CCF Tech TV. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.